Welcome to our business show here on Uxbridge FM. And with all that's going on at the moment and people working from home, businesses are having to find new ways of working. So we thought we'd chat to local company Cfone about communication. Now, Mark Hodgkinson joins us from Cfone. He's on the line now. Hi, Mark.
Good morning, Steve. How are you this morning?
Yeah, I'm all right. It's a bit strange because it's just me here, nobody else. I'm on my own.
Yes. Well, we couldn't do any better further than socially distancing ourselves. I'm not in the studio this morning, but hopefully we're coming through loud and clear.
Yes, you're at home, working from home like many, many people around the world, it seems.
Yes, yes.
So your company,
yes,
Cfone, is a local company based in Hillingdon. We're not calling some Indian call centre when we call you.
No, you're not calling some Indian call centre. Some of my customers are Indian call centres that help people in the UK, funnily enough. But no, we could be anywhere. If I was talking to you in Hillingdon, which is where our office is based, that would be no different to if I was talking to you in Australia right now. The calls would be clear and we would be having the same conversation.
And your company specialises obviously in communication and in particular VoIP, voice over IP. So I guess in the last week or so, you've had a lot of inquiries from people wanting to work from home and move their company line to a home line and then sort out all kinds of call forwarding and clever things. It isn't just, we've diverted our calls to Jane's mobile and she's being flooded with all the calls.
Sure. So we had some inquiries, some of our unusual providers. There was a flour company, and they were making flour 24 hours a day. And when I called them, I said, could you just let us know where our delivery is? My wife wanted to bake our bread, and we ordered it about 3 weeks ago. And they said, I'm really sorry, we're working 24/7. We're just answering the phone out of courtesy because the girls that answer the phone are at home. They can't answer the phone. I said, no worries. What we can do for you is just forward your phones to a virtual number. The girls can have an app, and they can answer the phone and make and receive calls. They don't even have to step foot in the flour mill at all. So yes, there's no reason why people have to just divert a call to one member of their staff and then think, well, that person's got to field all the calls for the next 6 months or 3 months or however long this lasts. We can forward a call to a virtual number, and everyone in your company can still be employed and still be of value. And all the calls between all those employees, of course, are free. There is no call charging between extensions, regardless of distance with VoIP. So there's no reason why Jane in Southall or Jim in Denham or Harry in Harefield, to coin a phrase, they could be on the phone all day, every day, conference together, all talking, and all those calls be free.
And in the past, before this virus came along, you were obviously saving companies lots of money because there was a trend, wasn't there, to transition from regular phone lines and ISDN lines to using VoIP. But it's really come to the fore now with this people working from home and having to have their company directory in the cloud as such.
Sure. Talking about saving money, actually there's a number port going on today. So what a number port is when you're with BT, let's say, or it can be another provider, it could be Sky, it could be anyone, and you've got your list of numbers, 1 or 2 numbers, maybe you've got 10 numbers, and you're paying, let's take an example, paying BT each month. And I had a customer who's porting today, and they were paying around about, I think it was £300 per month, I think it was, and they had a very long contract. They were tied in for about another 5 years. And essentially, they came to me and said, look, I can't run out of this office anymore. Company down the road wants to buy us, and quite happy to sell them the numbers. We'll get out of the industry, and they can take all our customers. That's great, I said. So we'll just port your numbers. We'll just take the numbers from BT, port them into the other customer, and hey presto, they'll be able to work. And they said, oh, yeah, but there is one catch. We did sign up for another 5 years just recently on ISDN, which ironically is end of life in 2025. There's no more ISDN at all. So I said, okay, well, we'll see what we can do for you. And this is a fairly common thing where people have had a phone call from BT Local Business or other providers, not just saying BT, and they've said, oh, how's business, how's things, and they've given them a couple of pinch points, a bit of an issue, and then they've gone, oh, well, what you need is, and they've automatically signed them up into another 2-year, 3-year, 5-year cycle. And this company, when I phoned up BT and said, could you just tell us what the termination charge is? You know, a bit like when you leave EE and you go to Vodafone and you might leave a bit early and you've got a couple of months remaining on your contract because you want that new iPhone or Samsung. You say, oh, how much money have I got left in my contract so I can leave you? And the figure that came back was £32,000 if you want to leave BT and just sell your business and just move your phone numbers and go and retire. 32 grand. So that was a bit of a hindrance to my customer to acquiring his competitor's business. So fortunately, BT do something probably every year, around about April time. And what it is, they send out a letter and says, if you're with us, April time, we're putting up our prices with inflation, and we understand that not everyone likes that. So if you want to leave us, phone this special number. So that was my cue. Got on the phone to BT about an hour later, gone through all the phone numbers, gave them the story that really sorry, but you know, you're putting the numbers up and we would like to leave you. And hey presto, they signed it off and said, yep, okay, you can leave us without having to pay the termination charge, which was the remainder of their contract. And it was 32,000. Their numbers are actually porting today. So really, really happy to have helped that company, saving them massive amounts on their phone bills as well. Their phone bill will drop to something like about £40 a month from where they were paying about £300 a month before. So they're not only saving huge amounts, but they also they've got out of a really long contract, and that's something that's very, very commonplace with switching providers. We find that people are tied into legacy contracts, paying massive amounts per month, and just thinking, well, I'm with BT, that's what you pay, isn't it? And it shocks us and horrifies us when we see sometimes the amount of money people are paying. And I coined it for this guy. I said, well, the money you're going to save per month, you can go and put yourself a new Mercedes E-Class or whatever it is on your drive, and you're still spending that same amount of money, but now you've got a car and you've got a phone system and you've got someone else's company just for making a phone call to Cfone and us helping you out.
Wow.
So he was very, 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 very happy.
So are there still lots of companies that are using traditional phone lines and ISDN lines, or are most companies now using VoIP systems?
There are still many companies using traditional phone systems, ISDN and normal analog phone lines. It's still common. There are some companies that have dabbled with VoIP, and they've sort of stumbled into it because they thought it was maybe they were approached by a VoIP reseller, or they just were told, you know, that's the thing you should do, and they've stuck with it. And they've got a VoIP number, but they don't really use it very much. And I had a customer the other day. They said to me, what happens if I take your VoIP service? Can I answer my phone anywhere? Yes. Can I have it on an app, on a smartphone, so I can answer my phone at home? Yes. Okay. Because I can do that on my current provider. So what about making phone calls? Can I make a phone call? Of course you can. I can't do that with my current provider. And I almost fell off my chair. So there's people out there that have kind of thought, oh, well, I tried VoIP a few years ago, and it was a bit scratchy, a bit rubbish. I mean, I'm talking to you now on this phone call on HD audio over VoIP, and it just amazes me that they've got into a rut and they think that's it, that's what VoIP is, and yeah. I probably won't dabble with it until something bigger comes along, or I'll wait for BT to phone me up so the price is going up. But we'll we'll sell you this new 5-year contract or something else. In fact, one of the unique selling points of Cfone VoIP is we do no contracts, so it's like pay as you go. So if you like our service, you stay with us, and if you want to move elsewhere, that's absolutely fine. We don't tie people into contracts because we know that that's what really aggravates them when they're with their current provider, and we don't want people to stay with us because they're aggravated. We want to stay people to stay with us because they like us, they like our service. And we get a lot of feedback. If you look at the Google My Business reviews, pretty much all of them are 5 stars from our customers where we've helped them in different ways, shape or form.
Are there certain types of company where a VoIP system really can save you a lot of money? I mean, if say you've got multiple sites or you've got people working out in the field, is that the type of company where you could save a lot of money over traditional phone lines?
Sure, absolutely. There's a couple of companies that would benefit from VoIP. We work with a company, can I plug a name?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So Affinity Finance, they're in the same building as us at High House in Hillingdon, and all their staff are financial advisors. So they're all kind of independently employed.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting thing, trying to get their money from the government at the moment. But on the flip side of that is it means that they're all independent little companies under one company. So one of the key benefits for them is they can all work anywhere. They don't have to come to the office. So they all work with laptops. They bring the laptops into the office when they want to have a meeting face to face. But yeah, they can all work from home as if nothing's happened, whether it's on a smartphone app, or whether it's on their desk phones where they've elected to use desk phones. So that's a really, really good example of where people can use VoIP technology. Everyone knows how to use a telephone, whether you're 9 or 90. So them being able to use a phone and benefit from distancing themselves from the office is key, because they're on the phone all day, plugging the numbers, calling contacts, calling leads, talking to mortgage advisors and helping people with their mortgages and financial security. So having VoIP for them, that kind of environment, a distributed team, really, really good. One of the other ways where people can benefit and save lots of money is if you've got, say, 2 offices like an estate agent. You might have, some of these estate agents have many, many branches, and you can either have geographic numbers, so you can have a Hayes number and an Uxbridge number, and a Southall and an Ealing number, but all those numbers can float between any of your estate agents. So anyone can answer the calls for any of the offices, and that doesn't just have to apply to estate agents, of course. It can apply to, say, a manufacturing industry who might regularly source materials from a certain provider or a certain supplier. Put a VoIP phone in there, you can be on the phone 24 hours a day, and everything's free. All those calls are free. It's not costing them a penny, and we've got suppliers that have done that as well.
And what about the time to set it up? Is it a really long and lengthy procedure to sort it all out, or is it fairly quick?
It's really quick. Another one of our unique selling points is next business day phone systems. Actually, in fact, we've improved on that in this market. In the last month, we can put same-day phone systems into people's homes, which is where most of us are working from at the moment, or into their businesses, or even if they've got a traditional telephony system and they just want to benefit, like I mentioned earlier, from being able to work distributedly. We just forward their calls to a virtual phone number, give everyone an app, and instantly they're working. And that can be deployed in a day rather than having to have any engineer attend site or do anything like that. Very, very rapid deployment, and also massively scalable. If you were to say, I've got 5 people working for me at the moment, and I'm thinking of joining workforce with this other company, it's a similar market to me, and we just want to, they've got 20. Either we're buying them or they're buying us, or we're just working together because it's a good fit at the moment. No problem. You can scale it up instantly. You can add extensions very, very rapidly. We had an inquiry just last week, from a call centre who are inquiring about having 50 seats and with non-geographic numbers, I should say. That's like 0300 numbers on a call centre. So 50 people in a call centre, non-geographic phone numbers, instant deployment. We need it next day, and none of those people are going to be using phones. They're just going to be using smartphones. So that's an app that runs on your iPhone or on your Samsung phone. And that's something we're really excited about as well. So rapid deployment, massively scalable, and very efficient and very, very low cost.
I suppose most of the time it's using tech that we already know. If you said to Mavis, who's the bookkeeper in your company, oh, we're working from home tomorrow, and she isn't perhaps too up on using apps on phones and things, if you give her a smartphone, put it in her house, she's not going to be too phased, hopefully, by using that.
Exactly. If, like I said, I think earlier, if you're 9 or 90, the chances are at some point you've used a phone. With other technologies like AnyDesk, LogMeIn, TeamViewer, Skype, Zoom, all of them have their merits. They all have their fit, but everyone has used a phone at some point in their life. And Mavis, whether she's 90 years old or 19, she can pick up a phone. And the beauty of VoIP technology is it doesn't get in the way of what you know how to use one of these. Everyone knows how to use a phone. It doesn't get in the way of it at all. It's just there in the background, making your business more efficient, making you work distributedly, and in this environment, staying safe and staying connected.
Fantastic. So more details on the Cfone website, cfone.co.uk. But also, while you're on the line, let's just have a quick chat about how you're finding this last week or so, working from home, maybe a bit more family time than normal. Any thoughts on that? It's been quite a change, hasn't it?
It has. So over the last 2 weeks, social distancing has meant, like for many of us, we can't see our parents. So I call them once a day, and the quality of conversation has improved. My father and I talked for almost an hour last night about model aeroplanes and Spitfires and fixing his petrol lawnmower. Fortunately, having VoIP phones at my house and his house, which is 200 miles away, where he's socially isolating at the moment, has meant we could have talked for 24 hours and the call would have still been free. So the quality of the phone conversations that I'm having, not only with my family, but also with my customers, has really, really improved. So that's a big change. It's no longer a call, can we have this, or do you want this? It's no hard sell. The pace has slowed down, but the quality has improved. So that's really good. Routine. I work now to what motivates me, not by office hours of 9 to 5. Meaning, if it's 7 a.m. and I feel productive, I'll put the effort in to work for an hour or two. Likewise, I might do the same on the way to bed. I might just put another hour into writing an email, follow up some leads, getting on LinkedIn, creating some new vertical leads, that sort of thing. So the quality of my work has improved and my motivation has changed. I used to wake up and hate Mondays, but now I'm happy working anytime, any day. I work a 7-day week now. I've been putting in 10 hours days over this last couple of weeks. I can go from playing games with family to helping someone, customer, within a few minutes. And having VoIP phones at home has really helped me do that. And the environment, well, not traveling, that has meant that obviously the planet, I don't know if you've noticed, has had a chance to breathe again. I was looking last night at an article my wife sent me, and nitrogen emissions have significantly dropped. And the pollutants in the rivers and canals we all took for granted has dropped too. I can hear birds every day. I rarely see a plane in the sky. The air smells fresher. The ozone's beginning to repair itself. I mean, they're all positive things. And as we adjust to working from home, I've begun to ask myself, why did I go to work in the first place? And after this COVID virus has taken its course, I think that's a question a lot of people at home will be asking themselves when they go back to work at Monday morning, or when they're sitting in that first traffic jam. Could I be doing things differently? Could I just make the smart move and switch to VoIP and work from home? And some of my customers have been doing it just before the outbreak, and some of them have been jumping on it during the outbreak. And I'm sure I'm going to see more of that happen after the COVID thing has passed. I would say mindfulness. My wife and I got involved with Mind last summer. My wife and children got involved in Mind last summer when they completed a 10-mile hike in the Lake District for the charity. And if you don't know what the Mind do, well, they provide help and advice to empower anyone with a mental health problem and improve their awareness and understanding of it. And I found that working from home, I've begun to understand the importance of regularly communicating with everyone. It really does improve our state of mind. I found that some of my customers initially were quite nervous about what to do and where to go. And I'll say a little bit about our coach again at the end of this, of how perhaps that could help people. But business growth as well, that's changed. Working for the last 2 weeks at home, I think the workplace helps us really focus on the task at hand, the business as usual. But the office environment isn't conducive to asking questions such as, where are we going? Who's steering this ship? Where do we want to be in a week or a month's time? And a month ago, we started asking those questions to ourselves. So we employed a business coach. And for those of you who don't know what business coach is, a business coach is like a compass for your company. So we asked a guy called Andy from Action Coach, who I'm sure you'll provide his links to the video at the end of this. He came along and he asked us to question ourselves as sort of things like, what makes me tick? What motivates me? What obstacles have I put in my way? And once you've got this in your mindset, they ask you, so what do you want to change about it? How do you want your life to be? It all sounds very philosophical at first, and I approach these workshops, I can assure you, with bags of skepticism and a hint of optimism. But after 3 meetings, that mindset is reversed, and I now approach my business with a hint of skepticism and a bag of optimism. Perhaps that's how I used to feel when I left university in my 20s, and it's certainly how I'm viewing this whole pandemic. I'm looking at it with a positive mindset of these are massive opportunities for businesses to work in new ways, and I'm sure if they had a session with Andy, that they would start to realise how they could improve their own quality of life in their own businesses. So he's offering free 1-hour sessions this week to business owners, online sessions I might add. You don't have to be face-to-face, and they're free. I think you should look at the link at the end of this video and perhaps give Andy a call, and I'm sure it would help you. I'm sure it would help your business as it's helped me and dozens of other people.
Yeah, local business coach Andy Sharma. He's often to be seen at various networking events around the area, the Chamber of Commerce. I can vouch for him as well. Well, Mark, it's been amazing talking to you. Could go on forever, talking about all kinds of gadgets that you've made for people that do crazy stuff, like dialing magic numbers from hotel receptions or whatever. But it's so good to talk to somebody who's local about this, rather than having to go through to some call centre abroad. Anybody that wants to transition from regular phone lines and the regular old-fashioned phone system to VoIP, give Cfone a call. Cfone.co.uk is the website. Is there a number they can call? Of course there is.
Of course there is, yes. 0208 573 1177. You can also follow us on LinkedIn and Twitter and on Facebook. I'd just like to say, before I go, Steve, that on reflection, Darwin, if I may quote him, he observed that we're all a product of our environment, and when you improve that environment, you improve the quality of you. And I certainly have felt that this reset button on the whole world and on my way of life has really improved my my way of working, and I would encourage people to reflect on that and basically understand that best of all, using VoIP is a technology we already use. These phones, we use phones in every day of our lives. VoIP just enables people to stay safe and stay connected.
Well, thank you very much, Mark, and we'll talk again, no doubt, and we'll find out how long we're going to be working from home at some point, maybe.
Yes, I hope. Thank you, Steve. Thank you very much for your time today.
Cheers.
It's been a pleasure.
Bye for now.